It's Ruth at Artful Stampin, and today we're going to be making a gatefold card using the Irresistibly Yours designer series paper. Now, if you've not come across this paper before, I'll just let you have a good look at it. It's actually got patterns on it that are already embossed, so it creates a bit of a resist. So I'm going to have a little bit of fun colouring it in, and I'm going to be using a new product to me. This is the new sponge brayers. So you get 2 of the handles in a kit, you get 4 of the sponges, and they just pop out like this really simply, and they just need to pop them back in. They remind me of like a loo roll holder, to be quite honest. There we go. Very easy. So I'm going to have a go with some Blushing Bride as my background and let you see how this all works. So you just roll your sponge brayer onto your ink pad. It probably helps to make sure that your ink pad is fairly juicy. So if you've been using it for a while and you haven't re-inked it, then maybe you need to just have a go re-inking it. And then it's kind of a case of just having a go and getting some of that colour on. And I'm kind of changing directions every so often so I don't end up with kind of streaks. I'm just, it's quite simple and quite easy. And if you're one of those people that don't like doing sponging and getting colour all over your fingers, well, this is pretty good because the colour stays away from your fingers and just goes on, and you can see the pattern just appearing before your eyes, which is kind of like magic really. It's lovely. Right, now as lovely as that is, I'd like to add a little bit of extra colour to this. So I'm going to set Blushing Bride aside for a second and get out some wild wasabi, and I'm going to use one of my old sponge daubers that have been kind of neglected because I tend to use the sponges or these now. So I'm just getting my little dauber, and I just want to sort of go over some of the greeny, the leaves with a little bit of green, and I think I should have done that really off because it's a little bit dark. There we go, go in there. And I'm not worried about it going over the pattern. Because it's very hard to kind of get an exact impression there. So it creates a kind of almost batik or watercolour type effect where the colours kind of just end up merging into one, but that's fine. Now it's trying to figure out, is that a flower? Yes, that's a flower, right. And then I was going to try, I've not done this before, so welcome to my experiment, just using these without putting them on the handles and getting just the tips there so that I can go in and be a little bit more precise with my colouring, because we have a bit of a corner there. Try and do these flowers a little bit more precisely. But again, it doesn't matter if the colour strays a little bit. Changing direction helps a little bit. So if you're one of those people who likes it all perfect, then perhaps this isn't quite the technique for you. But if you don't mind it looking kind of very artsy and, you know, random, a little bit more random. I've just missed out the leaf there. Where's my dauber? Nope, is that the one? Not yet, just re-ink it a bit. There we go. I quite like this effect, to be honest. It's very soft and pretty. Looks very like very posh DSP after you've coloured it all in. Okay. There we go. Lovely. Right, so that's going to go in the centre of my gatefold card there. And I just think that's lovely to sort of open a card and have that inside it. Now for the outer edges, I've gone with a different design. I've gone for this one here. It's almost like trellis, and I'm very tempted to go with colouring this in green. So I'm just going to open my little box of tricks again, and get out another sponge roller. So these have replaced the Brayers that we used to stock Stampin' Up. Don't panic though, if you did like the Brayers that we used to stock, they're a kind of quite a generic brayer that lots of different companies sell, and I think Stampin' Up were realising that you know, they needed to make room for other products, and those products can be bought elsewhere. So I can put my teeth back in. Okay, so there we go. I'm just going to put some of this green. Now this green is wild wasabi, so it's quite a pretty green. There we go. And like sponging, you just got to kind of keep doing it, and to really get that kind of even colour on there. Now I'm just going to try and get the edges a little bit darker. Okay. So I want a little bit of depth to this. Okay. It's a little bit darker at the top and the bottom. When you're inking up your roller, it's worth remembering to kind of either keep it going in one direction or go backwards and forwards, but actually it's probably best to go in one direction. As you go backwards and forwards, the danger is that you miss a spot. So I would say always go in the same direction, but keep rolling, and then maybe do short ones as well, just to make sure. A bit like when you're doing the brayering. And with this, you've got to just keep going. But to start off, you don't always see the pattern. See that one? There we go. See the pattern a bit more now. Because as the ink starts to come off the sponge, it then also cleans parts that you need cleaning off. There we go. And just give it a good old all over the top to clean it off. Hey. Right, so to get this stuck down, let those dry for a moment. I love Tombow. You just have a few seconds of wiggle room, so you don't get it exactly perfect. You've got a few moments to have a little play. Okay, pop that on there. Right, I want to put a belly band around this now. So I've already pre-cut some vellum that I'd like to have going around this, and I still can't quite decide what sentiment to put on here, to be honest. So just pull off the vellum. Okay, so I've cut, this has been cut from just an A4 sheet, and this is 5 centimetres long, and so this is 21 centimetres wide. And I'm just going to place my card so that the bottom of it is at the bottom of the vellum. I'm just going to fold that over by hand, not too tight, because we want to be able to get the belly band off and on quite easily. So there we go, that's fine. And then my idea is to stamp a flower from the Crazy About You stamp set, because I like the way these lines almost mimic kind of the lines of the emboss resist paper. Get some cardstock here. This is Melon Mamba, it's a lovely bright colour. I need to do this in the right direction. or the punch, because when I stuck this stamp together onto the wooden block, I did it in the wrong direction for the punch. It should have been the fatter petals towards the line. So I have little arrows here to tell me that I need to stamp it in that direction. Okay, so let that be a lesson to you. Right. So here's my punch. And I just love how these punches all match up. Makes life so much easier. There we go. And I'm wondering whether to actually just stick that over the top of the connection there, and then that's all hidden. So put a bit of glue across there, hold that down. Just kind of eyeballing that so I know that's in the middle. Just going to hold that for a few seconds to make sure it's really well stuck down, because the vellum is not so porous, so sometimes it just needs an extra bit of holding down. I think that's happy there. Let's see if it goes back on now. Yep, no problem there. And then I'm just going to stamp a little sentiment to possibly put in the middle. So I've decided to use the Birthday Blossom stamp set, and this have a beautiful birthday sentiment there. Stamp that with a melon mambo. And use the ornamental label punch, which I'm so pleased is still in the catalogue, because it's such a useful punch for card making. And then I'm just going to grab, I think this was a sponge that I used for Blushing Bride, and just put a little bit of Blushing Bride around the edges, like that. I'm just going to stick that with a few dimensionals. And then we're nearly done. There we go. So here is a gatefold emboss using the a gatefold card using the Irresistibly Yours Designer Series paper. Fabulous melon mambo and wild wasabi, and then kind of giving at the outside, giving a hint for what's on the inside. And there you have a lovely background with a really nice sentiment there. Of course you can put whatever sentiment you'd like on the inside, but there we go. Anyway, thank you for joining me today, and if you like what you see, please don't forget to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below, and head over to artfulstampin.co.uk for some great pictures and some other inspiration. Take care for now. Bye.